Before we begin, I wanted to give a huge shout out to Amazon Music for partnering with me on this episode of Chasing Creativity, but more on this later. Let's get right into today's episode. Hello and welcome to this latest episode of Chasing Creativity. I'm Kiran Manral, your host, and today I have with me the lovely Aashima Mahajan. Aashima is a singer, a composer, a vocal coach, and lots more. We're going to find out more about her in this episode. Welcome to Chasing Creativity, Aashima.
Hi, Kiran.
Lovely to have you here.
Same here. I'm so happy and excited, and I'm just going with the flow today. Let's see what happens in the show.
That's the best way to be. I first heard you when a common friend of ours, Khushbu, posted a song you sang on Coke Studio.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that has been recent and very special. Of course, for every vocalist, it's a dream to be a part of Coke Studio. And I was representing my hometown, Jammu and Kashmir. So yes, it's been a special year to me.
That became quite a hit, I think, that particular song.
Yeah, it has garnered a lot of attention and love because this is like the first time in Coke Studio a Kashmiri song in its full form as a setup and aesthetically also, पूरा कश्मीरी सेंस है उसमें और वनगुन गाया है लड़कियों ने और मैंने तो फिरन ही पहना है पूरा कश्मीरी अटायर पहना है सो एस्थेटिकली इट वाज कैप्चर्ड ब्यूटिफुली एंड द साउंड डन बाय मुनीम एंड अमन आई थिंक आई एम जस्ट वेरी ग्रेटफुल टू बी अ पार्ट ऑफ दैट होल ग्रुप एक्चुअली
How lovely.
Yeah.
May there be more Coke Studios in the future.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for that.
How did singing happen to a girl from Jammu?
So yeah, like most of the interviews when people tell them they're like मेरे बचपन से ऐसे था, but it is like that, all these things have their roots from the beginning. And I was very young, maybe 4 or 5 years old, and I used to tell my dad, this drums should not come in this part of the song and it should come later. And that is when my father thought ki okay fine, she has a very strong inclination towards music. She is not just enjoying the music, she's taking out the flaws and she's recommending what can be done to a RD Burman song and all.
Oh, wow.
So,
wow.
My dad is like, okay, fine, the drums should not have been here. And that is when they started thinking, okay, fine, she's interested in music. And then, of course, since then, I was always part of the extracurricular and the singing activities in my convent school in Jammu. And tab se karwa shuru ho gaya and they started laying interest in this side of mine.
Taking it up as a career.
Yeah.
That is the difficult part in most Indian families.
Yes.
It's doctor, engineer. Of course, things are much better now.
Yeah.
But earlier it was,
90s, yeah.
IAS karo, doctor, engineer bano, medicine karo. That was like the limit of ambition parents had. Your parents encouraged you towards singing. But did you face any resistance when you decided that this was going to be my career?
Of course I did. I will keep this short because the kids of 90s will relate to this. The things are very different now, and parents, they want their kids to go in sports and singing and piano lessons and dance lessons and art classes and these classes and that classes and salsa classes and French classes. It's present thing. Okay, back then, belonging to a town like Jammu, there were not many options, but I was in the best school, Presentation Convent. So that definitely helped me in the extracurricular activities in the school. But I was a very good student, like I'll not praise myself, but I was always in the top 5 in the class, like 95% and all that.
Brilliant.
So for parents, it becomes very difficult to decide ki, okay, my child is very academically strong and she can have a very sustainable career and a very stable career. So for them to see me after 10th, 12th taking that kind of bracket of marks in sciences, to shift to an art line was not acceptable. And my parents initially were hesitating to, let me go to A.R. Rahman Music School, where then I started my musical training, and they were like, okay, fine, you experiment for 1 year, you see does it incline you even now, because I used to love science and I used to love studying as well.
Really?
Not that I was less interested in studying and more interested in music. And I was applying for mathematics honors also in LSR and all, and I was getting through that also. So it was a very tough decision for my parents ki making her leave such a stable path and letting her go to something like arts. It would have been difficult for a parent in Delhi or Bombay or Bangalore also.
Anywhere.
And I had like a Jammu upbringing. So it was definitely not an easy path. And till now, they always have this a little fear of, you can say, I'm away from them, the stability of this field, inconsistency in the finances and everything. They still have that. And it's okay. I chose my path, and I'm absolutely elated about choosing this path. And there are so many people from my school and around and my business families where I've grown up, and they come up to me and they're like, we are so happy that you followed your heart. And believe me, it's not easy to follow your heart. And to keep following your heart every day till it becomes so evident to the world that, oh wow, she followed her heart, wow, so lucky. Like they don't know there's no luck behind it. There is just every day saying, yes, I will follow my heart. Today I get up in the morning, look at the mirror, yes, I will follow my heart. It's an everyday struggle to follow your heart. It's not an easy process. I could have actually done that, like, SP Jain se mera MBA kiya and all. I was getting an admission there and following a stable path. But I chose this because my heart always resonated with arts, music, painting, rangoli making, and all forms of art, poetry and everything. That was like so fascinating and so spiritual for me that calling was inevitable. It couldn't have been avoided. Yeah.
So then you went to the A.R. Rahman school.
Yes, I did.
What was the experience for you? I mean, you went there from Jammu.
Yeah.
And it must have been a complete culture shock in the first place.
Absolutely. The Jammu se China, like पहले तो मैं कहीं उसके पहले बाहर ही नहीं गई जिंदगी में. And then from Jammu directly I went to Chennai, the other corner of the country. The climate difference initially was also a little problem for me. Then I acclimatized to that, and the good part was the school had a mix of students from all over the country and all over the world. There were some foreign students as well. So I never had a lingo problem. It was not like कि सिर्फ तमिल बोली जा रही है वहाँ पर. It was, English was the basic medium of communication, which I had to up my game. When you are in घर, तो वहाँ पे आप घर में थोड़ी पंजाबी भी बोली जाती है, हिंदी बोली जाती है majorly and all. But वहाँ पे my teachers were from Scotland, from Germany, and from various parts of the world. So we had to match up to that accent. What are they speaking? Because they're teaching us something, and I have to match up to that. And that time I was like 18, 19, 20, and also, I was growing up and matching up to that. Okay, fine, I have to get this, I have to get this, I have to get this.
So this is a very different path from, traditionally there is you find a guru, you learn under the guru in the classical tradition, to go to an academy and learn music. I think this was quite radical for the time also. We don't really have that concept traditionally.
Music institution.
Institution of music. What made you aware of this musical institution, and how did you get there?
तो मैं सारेगामा में देखती थी.
हाँ, okay.
So I saw this girl from KM Music Conservatoire, A.R. Rahman Music School से. मैंने कहा, ओह अच्छा, इंडिया में कोई म्यूजिक स्कूल है, ऐसा करके कुछ होता है क्या? I used to research कि क्या है ये जगह, कहाँ पे? अच्छा, चेन्नई में. यहाँ तो मम्मी पापा नहीं जाने देंगे, ऑडिशन कैसे दूँ, कोई नहीं लेके जाएगा मुझे and all. I actually arranged an audition on Skype at that time.
Okay.
Ki I cannot travel to Chennai for audition. So please, is there an alternative way? I'm from Jammu. made it happen. They did my audition on Skype. And that's how I got through it. And yeah, मुझे उसके बारे में पता चला, मैंने रिसर्च किया, मैंने कहा और कोई इंस्टीट्यूट है जो मुझे वेस्टर्न और हिंदी दोनों में ट्रेनिंग देगा. सो मतलब इंडियन क्लासिकल के लिए फिर भी बहुत सारे ऑप्शंस थे मेरे पास. दिल्ली में था सुरेश वाडेकर अकेडमी आजीवासन, जहाँ पे अब मैं पढ़ाती हूँ. सो बट आई वांटेड टू हैव अ वेस्टर्न नॉलेज ऑफ द music as well, so I chose this place. And of course I was a huge fan of A.R. Rahman. I was like, यहाँ पे कुछ बहुत अच्छा सीखने को मिलेगा. So I just chose that place and made it happen. पापा को जिद करने ही मुझे जाना है, मुझे जाना है, मुझे जाना है, मुझे जाना है. And he's like, okay fine, जाके देखो 1 साल. So yeah, ऐसे ही हुआ था literally.
तो 1 साल 4 साल में बदल गए.
1 साल 4 साल में बदल गए. When I did my foundation course, I was like, no, I have to do diploma 1, diploma 2. And जैसे आप कह रहे हो गुरु शिष्य परंपरा, to be honest it was exactly like that.
Okay.
मेरे को वहाँ पे जैसे इंडिया में गुरु मिलते हैं, मुझे एक जर्मन टीचर ऐसे मिल गए जो उनकी फॉर्म में इंडियन अवतार के ही थे एक टाइप के. His name is Gilles Denisot and I always mention his name everywhere because I think I learned a lot from him in life. मैं बहुत छोटी थी उस वक्त, and the things that he used to tell me at that time are getting applied now in my life. The things he used to tell me, okay Aashima, this is your height, this is your your broad, and okay, the voice type will sound like this and the texture of your voice will sound like this, and 7 years later your voice is going to sound like this. And I used to be like, what is this man talking about? Like my voice is going to sound like this 7 years later in my late 20s and everything. And I never used to understand. मैं छोटी थी बहुत, a decade back. So but I did imbibe whatever he was trying to teach me and everything, and now I actually see exactly the same things that he used to tell me are happening in my voice and my body right now, and it surprises me.
We'll take a short break now and we'll be right back with Aashima Mahajan in a bit. Do stay tuned. So Aashima, coming from Chennai, from the AR school, and then making a big break into the industry, which is very closed, very difficult to break into. What was your initial experience like, and what were the challenges you faced?
I think just keep believing that you really want to do this and there is no plan B. That's it. That will keep you going in the industry, because if you always keep thinking about the plan B, then things are going to happen much slower than they already are. And that is what I came with the thought, okay, fine, let's go. I have no contacts. I have nothing in the industry right now, but let's go. I went to Suresh Wadekar's academy directly. I did a teacher's training course there, and then I started teaching there. I did not want to sit idle at all. So if nothing, then let's start teaching so that it will keep me also in Riyaz. Then 6-7 months later, I auditioned at Mukesh Chabra's office for Mughal Azam. I got a call when I was in McLeodganj chilling with my brother and sister in Jammu Kashmir. So unka call aaya, I gave the audition and they liked my audition, and since then Mughal Azam journey started. This was, and then premiered on 21st October 2016. And after that something or the other kept on happening in my life. I started doing shows, live shows. Now I'm producing my album. Coke Studio happened this year.
Wonderful.
20 days back I give a TEDx talk. So something or the other has kept me going. Apart from the 2 years of lockdown, कारवां चल ही रहा है.
Performing live.
Yeah.
As an artist. You know, we listen to you as an audience. We listen to you performing, and we see the voice, the beauty, the training, everything that is coming out of it. But for a performer, what are the factors that you keep in mind when you're going onto stage? Somebody who is going to perform in front of an audience. Is there something that you're very maybe superstitious about, some ritual that you do? How do you prep yourself before a performance?
So your training is your ritual, to be honest.
Okay.
Vocal training is basically training of your vocal cords to have breath control, to increase the quality of your voice, the range of your voice, the tone of your voice, and the projection of your voice. Like, and I can speak like this softly and still be very projected. And if I'm addressing a larger audience, how do I project my voice? So all those techniques come with vocal exercises, vocal warm-up, designing of the speech. All these come with vocal training. Now voice is something that we use on day-to-day basis. जैसे मैं आपसे बात कर रही हूँ या मैं किसी को एड्रेस कर रही हूँ, गाना गा रही हूँ, voice is always being used as an expression, medium of expression. So how do you train your voice? All those vocal warm-up and vocal exercises that I learned as a part of my curriculum they are my ritual. When I go to stage, और अगर मेरे पास सिर्फ 2 ही मिनट है और बहुत ज़्यादा vocal warm-up करने का टाइम नहीं है, so I do lip trills like this relaxes my jaw. This opens up my head resonating areas and all, and it's a quick warm up.
Okay.
It's a quick fix. But there are many other vocal exercises that, depending on your voice types, you can do. Now, what is a voice type? Voice type में 4 type की main voice types आती हैं: soprano, alto, tenor, baritone, bass. 5. I'm a soprano. Now in soprano also, I'm a dramatic soprano. There are subtypes of it. Depending upon what is your lowest note that you can sing and the highest note that you can sing, your voice types are divided. Depending upon the texture and the timbre of your voice, you can hit a specific lowest note, your highest note in your chest register, और उस basis पे voice को divide किया जाता है.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So now that you know that you're a dramatic soprano and that is your voice type,
Yes.
do you choose your songs, your performances accordingly, or do you fit it in according to what is coming to you?
Exactly. So there are so many examples, and I'm going to give you a few of them. In Mughal-e-Azam, I was given the role of Bahar because of my voice type being closer to Shamshad Begum.
Okay.
I could have done an Anarkali, or I could have done something else, but I was literally chosen for Bahar because my voice type was closely associated with that texture, Shamshad Begum's. तो आशिमा की voice इस role को suit कर रही है. It's a voice casting. Yeah, for a Broadway musical, voice casting होती है. Secondly, मेरे dramatic soprano होने की वजह से I was always given opera arias. By the way, I'm majors in opera from A.R. Rahman Music School again.
Wow.
And my repertoire was mostly the drama wali sopranos जो last में they die in the opera. I was always that. I was the Desdemona in Othello.
Lovely.
So that kind of repertoire I was given. Dramatic soprano has a little thicker texture than a coloratura soprano or a lyric soprano. They are like a little higher voices. Like a Shreya Ghoshal is a coloratura soprano.
Okay.
So like can go in detail as much as that, but like just touching upon these topics and all. So yes, your repertoire completely depends on your voice types. And naturally as a kid also, जब मैं बचपन में सुनती थी, I used to love Richa Sharma's songs. I used to love Sunidhi Chauhan's songs more. And I was like, मुझे ये क्यों ज़्यादा पसंद आ रहा है and all. And when I started learning about the voice type, I was like, oh, that is I associate with this voice more because I have those qualities in my voice. I might not be exactly like them. I'm just giving you an example from the Hindi industry so that you can relate the voice types. I'm a little higher than them. I used to relate to Richa ji's voice and Sunidhi Chauhan's voice, and when I grew up, like Shilpa Rao's voice more, as much as I used to love Shreya Ghoshal. And then I was like, why am I finding their repertoire more attractive and all? It's when I started training and learning about voice types and how are you attracted to the similar voice types and similar voice types repertoire and songs. तभी मुझे समझ आया, oh okay fine, my voice types lie in this register. यहाँ पे मैं suit करती है मेरी आवाज़. So even if I can sing Shreya Ghoshal songs or if I can sing Lata Ji songs, there is a certain section of my voice where I sound the best. That is called where your voice shines. You know it because after so many years, you know where your voice shines the most and all. All these things, that is why vocal training is so important for a new singer. There are so many things that we can learn from YouTube, but what you can learn from a vocal coach will be very personal. It will be upon your voice type and your body type. How is your voice getting personally treated? That personal touch is very important, and that I understood only because I had one experience with my teacher.
That's very interesting. I mean, for instance, not being from the musical world, I didn't know about the body type and the voice type until
Yeah.
you just mentioned it.
Yeah.
It's completely new to me.
Exactly. And anybody who's using voice as a medium of expression, an actor, a public speaker, can use vocal training coaching for 2 months, 3 months, as how much ever they want to learn from, because this is always going to build their expression more. How to use the dynamics of the voice. Do you want to whisper and still be expressive, or do you want to be loud, or do you want to be very loud? So even if I'm extremely loud in my house and I call my mama like this, mama, like, it's not hurting my voice also, and it is reaching much farther. And she laughs at this, and I don't want to hurt my voice. This is a very important point as well. Vocal training helps you do vocal exercises and warm-ups without causing any injury or strain to your voice. If you want longevity of your voice as a singer, Lata ji ne, like, she had like a more than 70-year-old career, isse bhi zyada actually, till the time
She sang for mothers, daughters, and granddaughters.
Exactly.
3 generations.
That kind of longevity of your voice, so much of vocal hygiene has to be taken care of. हम body hygiene की बात करते हैं, vocal hygiene is the same. आप अपनी vocals की hygiene का कैसे ख्याल रख रहे हैं?
For instance, what do you need to do? Basic stuff.
Avoid dehydration of your voice. Like मैं भी पानी सिप कर रही हूँ आपके साथ बार बार. Dehydration से आपकी vocal strain होते हैं और खांसी आती है. Exactly, like what happens,
right?
Yeah, like AC से, alcohol से, cigarette से, excessive exposure to dust से, ठीक है, all these cause dehydration, lack of sleep की वजह से, over stress, anxiety की वजह से, all these have direct relation to your speaking voice. अगर मैं रात को सोई नहीं हूँ तो सुबह मेरी आवाज़ में थकान दिखेगी, मेरे चेहरे में दिखे ना दिखेगा अगर मेकअप लगा लिया तो, बट स्पीकिंग वॉइस में दिखेगी. एंड फॉर गर्ल्स इट्स इवन डिफरेंट. लाइक आई वुड डेफिनेटली वांट टू add on this aspect. In periods, the voice of women changes because it adds swelling to the vocal cords, and there is bloatingness in the whole body, so that changes the texture of the voice.
Very interesting.
And sometimes we say estrogen, progesterone, or testosterone levels in female bodies, that changes the timbre and texture of the voice of the female as well.
Okay.
उसके लेवल्स के हिसाब से उसकी वॉइस थिक है, पतली है या बीच की है. लाइक ऑल दीज थिंग्स अफेक्ट द टेक्सचर एंड द टिम्बर ऑफ योर. इट्स अ कंप्लीट साइंस. माई सर ऑलवेज यूज टू टेल मी दैट अ वोकलिस्ट इज लाइक एन एथलीट. यू हैव टू वार्म अप बिफोर यू रन. डज एन एथलीट एवर रन अ मैराथन विदाउट वार्मिंग अप फॉर like at least 1.5 hours? Same is for a singer. You have to do your warm-ups before you go on stage. And warm-ups do not include only vocal warm-ups. It is body warm-up.
Full body warm-up. Okay.
योगा किया आपने,
Okay.
सूर्य नमस्कार कर लिया, या अगर आपको कुछ कार्डियो में रनिंग करके आना है. Whenever I do a running or a cardio or a yoga session before singing, अगर मैंने vocal warm-up नहीं भी किया है तो भी I will sing better. Why? Is because my abdominal area, my diaphragm area is completely open. And I can look at my horizon line and my diaphragm breathing is stronger now because body पूरी warmed up है. तो उसमें already मेरे से अच्छा गाया जाएगा. और फिर अगर मैंने vocal warm up भी कर लिया तो वो सोने पे सुहागा है. It will add on to it.
It's very, very interesting. Very interesting indeed that the body has to be warmed up, not just the voice.
Exactly. Like you can just try it in your normal life, like, normal people. Do a workout session और उसके बाद कुछ गाओ, ठीक है? और do not do anything, get up in the morning and then गाओ, ठीक है? It's the difference, the gap is so much that you see it in the first session itself. And if you practice it over a period of time, and then you will see like you cannot sing without having a workout session before.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Although if I sort of sing in the morning, they'll throw bartans at me. So I'm not even going to get into that. But talent and tayari.
Yes.
What is the ratio, the proportion of both, would you say, in the making of an artist?
Talent, I would say 35 to 40%, and tayari 60%.
Okay.
hard work 60%. Because talent is the prerequisite, I would say. Talent chahiye. But if you do not do your tayari, if you do not show up every day for your riyaz, if you do not practice every day, that talent is going to fade somehow or the other. You have to keep it, for a vocalist only I'm talking about, किसी ना किसी तरीके में आपका रियाज बरकरार रहना चाहिए. आप चाहे अच्छा म्यूजिक सुनते रहे, अच्छे मेहदी हसन की गज़ल सुन रहे हैं, आपकी शोरिया मुनकर की आवाज़ सुन रहे हैं सुबह उठ के, दैट इज़ ऑल्सो रियाज. यू आर लिसनिंग टू द फाइनेस्ट इंडिविजुअल्स ऑन द प्लानट. या फिर आप अगर उस दिन जैसे तबीयत ठीक नहीं है तो आप सुने, और अगर आप ठीक हैं तो आपको 2-3 घंटे करना ही है रियाज. सुबह करिए. अब यू कैन डिवाइड द टाइम. द रियाज कैन बी डिवाइडेड, लाइक यू कैन डू like 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the evening, 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the evening, depending on what your schedules are in life right now. And if you miss a day or two because of your extensive hectic schedules, because even performing is like riyaz.
A lot of people don't give it so much importance. They think that if you've come with the natural talent, you're going to shine. But this is important, and this is something everybody should pay heed to. Your riyaz, your tayari is more important than your talent.
I'm a firm believer of that.
So poetry and writing your own songs is something that's going to happen, and you are going to bring out your album now soon.
Yes.
Wonderful. We're looking forward to that.
Yay.
That's the next big project. And anything else that's on the horizon that we should watch out for?
Actually, my independent music album is the biggest thing that is happening in my life right now, because there are so many things that I've been doing, but this is something, it's my own voice. It is what I believe in. It is my music, my kind of music, and you will see all kinds of genres in it. I don't have a one particular genre of singing. You will have ghazals, you will have opera, you will have contemporary English songs as well. And so there will be a different blend of cultures across the world, because I've traveled world and I want to bring that in my voice too.
Wonderful. That sounds absolutely wonderful. I look forward to listening to it.
Thank you.
All the very best with that. Thank you so
Kiran.
much, Aashima, for taking time out for this.
Thank you, Kiran. I enjoyed thoroughly.
It was wonderful having you, and all the best with all you do.
Thank you so much.
And with that, it's a wrap on this episode of Chasing Creativity. This is Kiran Manral. I was chatting with Aashima Mahajan. You can listen in to us on BingePod, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your audio content. See you next week. Thank you for tuning into this episode of Chasing Creativity. I wanted to say thank you to Amazon Music once again for partnering with me on this episode of this podcast.